Okay, we're about to dive into something that is completely flipping our understanding of health on its head. What if I told you that the real control center for your mood, your mind, and your energy wasn't actually your brain? It's something scientists are now calling your second brain.
You know these phrases, right? We all use them. That little flutter you get before a big meeting, or that deep down feeling that tells you if a decision is right or wrong. We usually just chalk it up to emotions, simple metaphors.
But what if it's not a metaphor at all? What if those feelings are actual physical signals coming from a hidden intelligence center you probably never think about? It's your body trying to tell you something, and we're about to figure out exactly what it's saying.
So let's pull back the curtain and actually meet this hidden network. It's time to get into the science of this second brain and see how it's secretly, kind of running the show.
Okay, so the official name for it is the enteric nervous system, or ENS for short. The easiest way to think about it is like this super smart, high-tech mesh of nerve cells that lines your entire digestive system. And it's so complex, it can act on its own, which is exactly why scientists gave it that incredible nickname, the second brain.
So how complex are we talking? Well, the ENS has over 500 million neurons. Now, that's just a giant number, and it's kind of hard to wrap your head around without some context. So let's put that into perspective.
Get this. Your gut's nervous system has 5 times more neurons than your entire spinal cord. I mean, let that sink in for a second. This is not some small outpost. This is a major command center operating right inside you.
And this command center is constantly talking to the brain in your head through this massive cable called the vagus nerve. For decades, we just assumed the brain did all the talking, sending commands down. Well, the stunning truth is that up to 90% of the information is flowing the other way, from the gut up to the brain. Your gut is literally telling your brain what's going on.
And what's it telling your brain? Well, for starters, let's talk about serotonin. You know, the happy chemical? You'd think that's made in the brain, right? Nope. A mind-blowing 95% of your body's serotonin is actually produced in your gut by your gut bacteria. Your mood isn't just in your head. It's being manufactured in your stomach.
So, okay, if our gut is this powerful, why are so many of us dealing with things like anxiety, fatigue, and brain fog? The answer is pretty shocking, actually. We are living through a kind of mass extinction event happening inside our own bodies. Let's look at the culprits. First up, villain number 1, our modern diet. See, the good microbes in our gut, they thrive on fiber from all kinds of different plants. But instead, we're feeding our gut processed foods and artificial sweeteners that basically starve the good guys and roll out the red carpet for the bad, inflammatory ones.
And then we have villain number 2, chronic stress. When you're stressed all the time, your body pumps out a hormone called cortisol. High cortisol literally makes your gut a toxic place for good bacteria to live, and as they die off, your serotonin production drops, which then makes you feel more anxious and stressed. It's a really nasty, vicious cycle.
And finally, villain number 3, our reliance on certain medications. Now, don't get me wrong, antibiotics are lifesavers, but for our gut, they're like a sledgehammer. Just one round can wipe out huge colonies of good bacteria, and that internal ecosystem can take months, sometimes even years, to fully bounce back.
Now, I know that all sounds pretty grim, but here's the beautiful part. Your gut microbiome is incredibly resilient. You can actually start to make a positive change in as little as 3 days. So let's talk about the action plan, the science-backed way to rebuild your inner world.
Okay, here it is. 4 pretty simple steps. First, go for diversity. The goal is to eat 30 or more different types of plants every week. So fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, you name it. Second, bring in fermented foods like kimchi or kefir. They're like reinforcements, full of good live bacteria. Third, protect your sleep. Your microbiome has a daily rhythm, just like you. And fourth, manage that stress. Simple things like deep breathing can directly stimulate that vagus nerve we talked about, sending a calming signal straight to your gut.
I love this way of thinking about it. The goal isn't just to have bacteria, right? The goal is to cultivate a rich, diverse garden inside you, with tons of different species all working together.
So it's really time we stop thinking about our bodies like they're machines. They're not. You're a complex, living ecosystem, and you are the head gardener.
And when you start tending to that inner garden, well, the changes can be amazing. We're not just talking about better digestion. We're talking about the brain fog lifting, your energy coming back, that constant low-level anxiety starting to fade away. You're finally treating the root cause, not just the symptoms.
So here's the bottom line. The messages are being sent every single day. In those gut feelings, in those energy slumps, in those anxious moments. The question really isn't if your second brain is communicating anymore. The real question is, are you finally ready to stop and listen to what it has to say?